Hi, Jim Roemer with your weekly commodity report, March 9th through the 12th. Thanks for joining us. This is my best weather spider used by farmers, commodity traders, ETF investors, a conservative way to approach commodities that gives a sentiment of global weather and my feeling of overall markets. Look how recently we've been bullish soybeans on the South American drought and flooding in Argentina and tight stocks, potentially bearish wheat. We were very bearish natural gas actually after that huge Arctic pig and the cold spike a few weeks ago. There's the Arctic pig, a little resemblance you see to me here. And natural gas prices actually soared. Check this out on the screen here. You can see a little bit of a spike there to the right of your screen. And since then, things have calmed down. We had actually had a short position in our newsletters in both Weather Wealth, our twice weekly newsletter, and also in CLIMATELLIGENCE, which is a little bit more conservative and a more longer term, once a month, very inexpensive newsletter. We had some great recommendations recently in natural gas. What's going on right now? Look how the commodity index has broken out. This is a real conservative ETF stock strategy that's more indicative of the overall commodity markets like silver and copper and other markets that have broken out over the last 6 months to a year. Look at this move up. In the United States Commodity Index Fund, we're potentially still bullish this, but which commodities should we trading on the weather? And will we see further moves up in grains? One thing that we're concerned about right now for clients, look at this spiral, this huge storm moving into Texas and also Oklahoma and Kansas to the center and left of your screen there. This is going to bring some drought easing rains, at least temporarily, to some very important wheat areas. Will wheat sell off? What kind of strategies do we have for farmers and traders longer term? Could we see a big move in the grain markets on this as we get into the spring and summer? You have to subscribe to our newsletter and stay tuned here over the next few weeks. Feet of snow if you're going skiing in Colorado as we head into mid-March from this very unusual system that's really not like a La Nina. This is more of an El Nino situation. And again, very important that we watch the weather in April and May for planting, for crops, and whether or not this drought continues to break for wheat, because if it does, the grain market could be under some pressure a little bit later on. A lot of the wheat crop in the United States is grown in Kansas and Oklahoma, so we're also analyzing what's going on in Europe and Russia for the wheat crop. But this storm could bring some real important rains and potentially pressure wheat next week, particularly if it extends into the month of April. First time ever, there's an Arctic hurricane. Look at this thing over my shoulder here. Actually, it's all real. It has to do with electrons and solar activity and sunspots. Could be an indicative that we're coming out of a sunspot minimum. A lot of people are talking about doom and gloom and severely cold winters and the end of the world because of low sunspot activity. I'm more of a believer in climate change, actually. Do not believe the sun right now is a main factor in controlling our weather like other people believe. Once again, my monthly newsletter, ClimateLligence, at my website, bestweatherinc.com, just $99 a month. Actually a year, excuse me. Very inexpensive, whereas Weather Wealth sent out twice a week with certain trading strategies in a spreadsheet is more expensive, but gives all sorts of trade recommendations, and we hope that you join us and subscribe for a free trial. A lot of action in commodities coming up, from energies to grains and soft commodities, including coffee. We've had some trade strategies on. The market's actually sold off a lot because of the weak Brazilian real recently, but look at this damage. Some of the darker cocoa beans you see in this picture is indicative of a much lower crop for coffee, and that could be very important in a potential bull market later on as we're going into the summer, their winter. Stay tuned. Thank you for subscribing and watching us.